Hey everyone! So today we're going to be making Tony Choni Chopper. This is the second character that we made for the 30-day challenge. So let's get straight into it. The things that you will need is, of course, a 1.9 or a 2mm hook. You can feel free to use up to a 3mm hook as well. Then you'll need a tapestry needle or a sewing needle. I kind of prefer the sewing needle just because it's a lot sharper at the end. You also need a pair of cutters. You will need some fiber filling, and you will need some 6mm black safety eyes as well. Feel free to use up to 7mm too. And then of course the thing that we all need is the 4-ply cotton yarn, and you'll need it in the colors pink, dark brown, a bit of this beige color, and red. So once you have all those materials and you're ready, let's get started. So to begin, with your 1.9mm hook or 2mm hook, whatever you have, up to a 3mm hook, you're going to wrap the yarn around your finger and make a magic ring just to begin. So let's begin by making that magic ring, and feel free to check out my tutorial videos in the beginner crochet tutorial playlist if you don't know how to make a magic ring. Okay, from here we're going to make 6 single crochet stitches inside this magic ring, and for just quick reference here as well, I make my single crochets as follows. I go yarn under and then I go yarn over. So some of you might do that a little bit differently, but that's how I do my stitches. So I'm making 6 single crochet stitches inside this magic ring. So that's number 3, number 4, number 5, and of course number 6. Now once you have all 6 single crochet stitches in the magic ring, you're going to pull the yarn tail and pull it tight just to close that gap there. And we will be crocheting by finishing each round with a slip stitch and a chain 1. So we're going to do that today. So a slip stitch and chain 1 after every round. Now here for the second round, we're going to be making increases in every stitch space. So an increase just means 2 single crochet stitches inside that same stitch space. So there we go, that's our first increase right there. And we're going to repeat that for a total of 6 times all the way around until we have 6 increases, which means we'll have a total of 12 stitches in the round once we've finished round number 2. So I'll let you guys do that, pause the video and come back once you finish round 2. And round 2 is finished there, so I'm just having that slip stitch and chain 1 to finish round 2 completely. Now for round 3, we're going to be making an increase round. This is our final increase round as well. So this time we're making a single crochet stitch first, followed by an increase 1 in the same stitch space. Make that second single crochet stitch. And let's do it again. So single crochet stitch first, followed by an increase 1, and in the same stitch space number 2. And if you repeat that another 4 times, you'll have a total of 6, meaning you'll have 18 stitches in the third round. Okay, so we're up to the 4th round now, and this is where we're going to change yarn colors and incorporate a spike bobble stitch. So this, oh actually no, for the first one we're not going to do a spike. So this is what we're going to do. We're going to crochet 4 single crochet stitches. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. So once you're up to 4, we are going to make another one. So this is the 5th one, but this time, see how I have 2 loops on the hook? This is where we're going to change the yarn colors right here. So I'm going to change it to my dark brown color. I'm going to have a little piece underneath here, and then I'm going to pull the brown yarn through that dark brown yellow, that dark brown color. Okay, so from here what we're going to do is just make a bobble stitch. And it's kind of a different type of bobble stitch because we only have 4 loops on the hook for this bobble stitch, but I'll show you in any case how to make it. So what we do is we wrap the brown yarn around the hook. We're going to insert into this very next stitch, and then we're going to have these 2 yarn tails over the top of the hook so I can incorporate them in, weave them in behind. And I'm going to pull the yarn through just like that. And then I'm going to pull the yarn through 2 loops on the hook. And as you can see now, I have 2 loops on the hook. Now we're going to repeat all of that. So wrap the yarn, come in under, yarn tails over the hook, pull the yarn through, and pull the yarn through 2. And now we have 3 loops on the hook. Let's repeat that again. So wrap the yarn one more time, yarn tails over the hook, pull the yarn through, and this time again, pull the yarn through 2 loops on the hook, giving you a total of 4 loops on the hook. Now at the back here with that brown yarn tail, just give it a little tug, just a little bit, just to pull this stitch a little bit as well so it's not so loose. loose. And then what we're going to do is we're going to bring back our red colored yarn, hold it up, and then pull it through all 4 loops that were on the hook. So that there is our bubble stitch for the foot. And now what we will do here is we'll come into the very next stitch, have the brown yarn for one of the stitches come over the hook, and then pull the red yarn through and just make a normal single crochet stitch right there. And we're going to repeat that 4 more times. You don't need to travel this along with you. You don't need to weave it in at this point. So let's make another 4. 1, 2 single crochet stitches, the 3rd, and here's the 4th, or technically 5 red single crochet stitches. And again, before you complete this 5th stitch right here, you're going to change the yarn color again to dark brown. And in the same way, we're going to do exactly the same thing. We're going to wrap the yarn, make this bubble stitch, come into the next stitch space, and have the red yarn on top of the hook. Then pull the brown yarn through and pull through 2 loops on the hook. Now let's repeat that another 2 times. So pull through 2, wrap the yarn, pull the yarn through, and pull through 2. There we go. We've got 4 loops on the hook, and this is where we're going to change back to our red yarn color, pull the yarn through all 4 loops on the hook, and then start making single crochet stitches all the way to the end. I think there should be 6, so that was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and finally number 6. And that is the end there of round number 4. So you can see we've got our 2 little feet. It's looking great. So what we will do at this point, we're going to start round number 5. Now round number 5 is actually fairly simple. You can even cut your brown yarn now because we won't need that anymore, at least for the next little while. So we'll just put that aside. And what we will do here is just make 18 single crochet stitches. This is for round number 5. All the way around is just 18 single crochet stitches all the way around. And when you get to those bubble stitches, it's actually easy to see. See at the top here, we've got the brown bubble stitch. We're going to single crochet through there and then back into the red, etc. all the way across. Make sure you're counting and that you have 18 stitches in this 5th round once you're done. All right, I'll see you for round number 6. So here we're up to the end of 1, 2, 3, 4, the 5th round, and I've just come to the 18th stitch right here, and this again is where I'm going to change my yarn color to this beige colored cotton yarn. So here we go, we're going to pull that beige colored cotton yarn through the 2 loops on the hook, and then from there we'll continue with our slip stitch and chain 1. I'll just make sure that those 2 yarn tails are on top of the hook so I can weave those in as I go. So I'm chaining 1, and now we are up to round number 6. Now for round number 6, it's still your normal 18 single crochet stitches, except for round number 6, you're working in the back loop. So for those of you who don't know, there's a front loop in each stitch as well as a back loop. So the front stitch is right here, and the back loop is right here. So when I say we're working in the back loops, we're legitimately working in those back loops. So here's the first back loop, and I'll weave those 2 yarn tails in just one more time, and I'll pull the yarn through and make a single crochet stitch just like that. All right, I won't worry about these 2 yarn tails anymore, and I'm just going to complete my 18 single crochet stitches but in the back loops, and it's usually abbreviated BLO, meaning back loop only. So I'll let you guys complete that all the way around, and then we'll finish round number 6. And we have just finished round 6 right there. And then for round 7 and 8, super easy. We're just relaxing at this point. We're making 18 single crochet stitches all the way around for rounds number 7. So this is round number 7 here, and then also for round number 8. So I'll let you guys complete rounds number 7 and 8, and then we'll come back together to begin our round number 9. So we've just finished round 8 there, and now we're up to round number 9, and this is where we're going to do something a little bit different. So we are going to make those bubble stitches again for the hands, but we're going to do them as spike bubble stitches. So I'll show you that in a moment. First, I want you to crochet 4 single crochet stitches. So 1, 2, 3, and on the 4th, just have 2 loops on the hook, and this is where you're going to change the yarn color to your dark brown again. So here's my dark brown yarn color, and I'm going to weave that through those 2 loops on the hook just like that. Now I'll pull these 2 yarn tails as I am about to start now my first bobble stitch, but I'm not going to go where I would think you would think I would go. So that would be right here. Instead, we're going a little bit elongated, so further down right to this space here. So just follow the line from that stitch space, go down 1. So what we'll do here is wrap the yarn as normal, come into this stitch space right here, and have those 2 yarn tails on top of the hook, pull the yarn through 2. Let's repeat. So yarn tail, sorry, the yarn is wrapped, pull the yarn through and pull the yarn through 2. One more time, pull the yarn through and pull the yarn again through 2 loops on the hook until you have 4 loops on the hook left over. Then you'll change back to your beige colored yarn and pull it through all 4 loops on the hook, and that there's your first little hand. And then from here we're going to crochet 7 single crochet stitches in beige, and for the first one I will carry that brown yarn just for the first one. So let's go. So here's number 1. From here I don't need to carry that brown yarn anymore. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now I haven't completed the 7th because I'm going to change my yarn colors back to my brown, as you can see right here. And then from here we're going to do the exact same thing as we did right here. We're going to make that elongated bobble stitch. So I'm not coming here, instead I'm coming right here. So I will make a bobble stitch, pull the yarn through 2, wrap the yarn, pull again through 2 loops on the hook, pull the wrap the yarn, pull it through and pull it again through 2 loops on the hook. Now we have 4 loops on the hook. Grab your beige colored yarn, pull that through all 4 loops on the hook, and there we go. Give the brown yarn a little bit of a tug there, and then complete the remaining stitches with the beige yarn and carry over the brown yarn over 1 to 2 stitches. So here's 1 single crochet stitch, brown yarn over the top of the hook, and here's the second. I'll leave it from there, there's no more need to weave it in. Here's number 3, 4, and finally to finish off this round number 9, we will have that single crochet stitch and finish it with a slip stitch and of course our chain 1. Now I can cut the brown yarn and pop that inside our body just like this. So this is what we're looking like so far. Everything's good. So now we've come to the part where we make a decrease round. And this is really good because as you can see, we don't have to sew the legs or the arms, and we're just going straight into the head. So for this round number 10, we're going to make a single crochet stitch first, followed by an invisible decrease. Now an invisible decrease is where you go through the front loop of the first stitch and then the front loop of the second stitch right next to it. Then you'll pull the yarn through both of those and pull the yarn through again. So let's repeat that. Single crochet stitch first, followed by invisible decrease. Front loop, pull the yarn through and pull the yarn through. Repeat again. So single crochet stitch first, then invisible decrease, front loop, pull the yarn through and pull the yarn through. And I'll let you guys repeat that another 3 times to finish off round number 10. It's the end of round 10. Now for round number 11, we're going to have an increase round. So it's basically the opposite of what we just did. So we chain 1. Round number 11 will start with single crochet stitch, followed by an increase. So 1 single crochet stitch back in the same stitch space, and then make your second single crochet stitch. And you're going to repeat that 6 times in total. So single crochet stitch first, followed by an increase, 1 and 2. Single crochet stitch again, followed by an increase with not 1 single crochet stitch in that space, but 2. Okay, if you repeat that another 3 times, you'll finish round 11, and then we'll start round 12. For round number 10, it's another increase round, but super easy. Single crochet stitch first, another single crochet stitch, followed by an increase. And we're just going to repeat that same thing 6 times in total. So single crochet stitch first, make it 2, and then make an increase, 1 and 2. Now if you repeat this all the way around, you should have 24 stitches in total, and we'll finish with a slip stitch and chain 1 to finish that round number 12. and round 12 is now complete. So for the next 4 rounds, that's 13, 14, 15 and 16, so all the way till round 16, you're just going to be making 24 single crochet stitches in each round. So again, that's from rounds 13 all the way to 16 with 24 single crochet stitches in each round. So I'll let you guys do that, pause the video, come back once you're up to the end of round number 16, and then we'll just finish off that head together. And here now we're up to round number 17. Super easy for round number 17. All we're doing is basically the opposite of our increase round, the last one that we did. So we've got 2 single crochet stitches first, followed by an invisible decrease. So remember, front loop, pull the yarn through, pull the yarn through. So I'll do it again. So 2 single crochet stitches first, 1 and 2, followed by an invisible decrease, just like that. Perfect. And one more time, single crochet stitch, another one, followed by an invisible decrease, just like that. Okay, repeat that 3 more times to finish off round number 17. For round number 18, again, it's another decrease round. You might be wondering, when are we going to add the fiber filling? And it's going to be after this round, and we'll add the eyes at this point after this round as well. So to do round number 18, you'll make a single crochet stitch first, followed by an invisible decrease. So again, single crochet stitch first, followed by an invisible decrease right here. And we'll just repeat that another 4 times to finish round number 18. Round number 18 is finished now, so I'm just doing that chain one and pulling the yarn through just a little bit more so it doesn't come the other way and start unraveling some of my stitches. So what we're going to do at this point is grab some 6mm black safety eyes, as well as the back portion of those safety eyes. So here's our safety eyes, and then we need 2 of these little back things. Now I just gotta find it. It's a little bit can it drop out? Yes, it can. There we go. Okay, so we've got those 2, and we're going to put them, well, first of all, let me see where they go. I'll just have a little test run to see where they could possibly go, and then I will let you know where they go. So usually I like to just do this by trial and error, see the lining or the spacing for these eyes, and then I think that actually looks perfect. So that would be round 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, between rounds 14 and 15. So this is between rounds 14 and 15 here, and then at least 3 stitch spaces apart with your bubble stitches in line with those. So that's what you need to do. You're also going to grab the backs of this, and then, yes, it could be a little bit tricky, but not too tricky. Just pull it inside out as much as possible, and then squeeze on that back part until it's nice and secure in place. You may have a different way of doing these eyes, but if you have the kit, this is what you have, and this is how you'll be adding those eyes onto your character. Now from here, we're going to fill up the entire body and the head with fiber filling. So just grab your fiber filling and do it layer upon layer so that it's not too bulky at the beginning. So layer upon layer until you fill up the entire body, and use a pair of scissors or something to kind of just stab it in there and compress that fiber filling. So guys, I'll let you guys do that, and once we're done, we'll finish off our last round to complete the entire body. And there we go, we filled it up to the brim with fiber filling. It's kind of popping out there, so I'm using my finger to push it down a little bit more. And then all we'll do is we're going to put our hook back in its place, pull this yarn, so we've got the loop on the hook, and then from here we're doing our last round, which is where we are going to make 6 invisible decreases. So this is number 1 right here. Then we have number 2. It's kind of nice that this is our last round for the entire body / head. This is number 3. May as well do it together, right? Here will be number 4. Just keep those stitches as tightly as possible, just so you don't get large loop spaces. And here is the last one right here, just like that. Then we'll make, of course, our slip stitch. Just gotta find it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So come into the next space over here where you made that first decrease, make a slip stitch and pull the yarn through and cut it at around about 10 centimeters worth, because we will use this right now to close the top of the head. Now if you feel like you could add a little bit more stuffing inside your head, feel free to do that at this point. Otherwise, we're going to grab our tapestry needle. Then we're going to weave this through the eye of the needle. And from here, we're just going to go through the front loops of the remaining stitches in that final round. So we're just going to go through the front loops of all these remaining stitches until we complete all of that. And then from there, we are going to pull the yarn and watch the gap close, just like that. And then the tapestry needle or your sewing needle will go through the center of that, then come out at any one of these stitches and just watch how it flattens out nicely as there. So there we go. So that's what it should look like at the top of the head, nice and flat. And then to weave this in, you're just going to follow the direction of your yarn. So you can see there's a little diagonal section there. So I'm going to go and follow exactly that. So I'll come to another stitch space. I won't pull too hard, and then I'll follow this direction as well. Kind of that diagonal side stitch. So here's the diagonal. I'm coming into that diagonal as well. So I just always want to follow that so that it looks like I have these easy stitches that have been woven into the head, but they are not noticeable because they follow the lining of each of the stitches anyway. All right, cut your excess yarn or just sew it into the body to hide. I just usually cut it because I don't need it that much anymore. And there we go. There is the body for Tony Chopper. All right, so here we're going to start with our hat, and I'll just grab some pink colored yarn. This is our cotton yarn for the pink. And then all we're going to do is make a magic ring. Of course, this is how we start almost every amigurumi piece that we have. So magic ring comes first, and then we're going to crochet 6 single crochet stitches inside this magic ring. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, just like that. And we're going to pull the yarn through. And when I say pull, I mean pull that yarn tail, and we're going to finish each round again with a slip stitch and chain 1. Feel free not to though, if you don't feel like doing that. You can also crochet in a spiral at this point. But for us, we'll just do a slip stitch and chain 1. Now we're going to increase the rounds. I'll write them on the screen, and you're going to increase it all the way up until you have 30 stitches in the round. So make sure you do that. So for round 2, it's increase, you'll have 12. Round 3, it's a single crochet stitch and an increase, making 18. Round 4 will be 24 stitches in total, and round 5, after round 5, you'll have 3 single crochet stitches with an increase repeated 6 times to give you 30 stitches. So I'm going to let you do that, guys. Pause the video, do that until you have 30 single crochet stitches in your round. And round number 5 is now complete. As you can see, we've got rounds number 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 with 30 single crochet stitches in the round. Alright, so from here, round number 6 is super easy. We've just got, again, 30 single crochet stitches in the round, but we're going to work in the back loops this time of the hat. Now, you're already familiar with those back loops because we did it for the body. So let's do it again. Back loop, number 1 single crochet stitch. Back loop again, that's the second. Here's back loop for number 3, back loop number 4, back loop number 5, and that will just help the hat give its definition so they can easily fall straight down. If you weren't to do that, it would still go straight down, but it would be more curved in its shape, and I don't want that curve, which is why I'm working in the back loops only. So repeat all of that all the way around in the back loops until you finish round number 6. Finish off with a slip stitch and chain 1. So we've just finished round number 6 there, and for the next 5 rounds, so that's rounds number 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11, we are going to be making 30 single crochet stitches in each round, and also working in those front and back loops just as you normally would for your single crochet stitch. So remember, that's an additional 5 rounds of working 30 single crochet stitches in the round. So let's come back after round number 11. Okay, so we've just finished all of those 5 straight rounds, and from here, this is kind of where this is the last round now. And all we're going to do, so first of all, I'm going to chain 1, and then what we would do is we're going to work in still all of those front loops that we can see there. I was just checking to make sure that I did actually go through the front loops. So we're going to go through each of these front loops as we make our stitches. So you can see we've got the front loop right there. So what we'll do is we're actually going to make double crochet stitches. So in the first one, we'll make a double crochet stitch, just like that. In the second, we'll make a double crochet stitch again. So this is the second double crochet stitch. We'll make in this one, which is the third stitch, front loop only, we're making an increase, double crochet increase. So that's specified at the bottom, DC increase, double crochet increase, as you can see there. And we're going to repeat this 10 times all the way. So remember, the first one is just a double crochet, regular stitch. Second one is a double crochet stitch as well. And in the third one, we make the increase, but the double crochet increase, DC increase, just like that. So if I repeat this another 8 times, we will finish this brim around the hat. So let's do that now, and then we'll come back towards the end of that. There we go, guys. So we've just finished all of that. I'm coming into the very first stitch right there, that double crochet stitch, and I'm going to make a quick slip stitch and chain one. Now if you were crocheting in a spiral, you might have to skip one stitch and then slip stitch in the next stitch. Completely up to you. All right, so I'm going to now cut my yarn. So I just cut my yarn right there. We'll keep that brim as flat as possible. And then we are going to weave this and this inside the back stitches to hide it. So just use a sewing needle to do that. So from here, we're going to make our cross at the front of the hat. So remember, this is the back of the hat. So we're going to go directly to the front portion of the hat. I'm going to have the X start at the bottom here. So for example, what I might do is I want to put it in this stitch space right here. So, or at least close to it. I'm just going to weave this in a few stitches to secure it at the back. That way I don't have to weave it in later, since I've already got my needle, or my yarn and the needle right there. So I'll leave it like that. Now remember, this is the front part. So I'm going to come and have my needle come through that space right there. So it's, see, this is the base. So it's one row up from the base of the hat, just like that. Now from here, I'm going to go work my way all the way up until, basically here's the top part of the hat and one stitch space below it, and then 5 stitch spaces apart. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that means I have to go right here, then I'll come back down to this space over here. As you can see, remember, we're making an X. There we go. And then I'll come right back up in line over here, 1 stitch space below the brim. That ends up being right there. Pull it through. We've got an X right there, and then I have to weave this into the back of my hat just to secure it in place, since it's not really optimal at this portion or this section to tie those 2 yarn tails together. So I'm just going to weave it through just to secure it in place there. Use a pair of pliers if you have one, if it's too hard to pull through. So I'm going to cut this right here, and then I will cut this one as well, because they both have now been woven through for the hat. So all that's left to do now is just make a little nose, and then also make the antlers over here. And then we have our beautiful Tony Chopper hat, just like that. Okay, so now we're up to the part where we're making the antler ears. So this is what we're going to do. We're going to, first of all, leave a bit of a yarn tail, not too much, it doesn't really matter at this point, and then just make a regular slip stitch, just like that. Now from here, we're going to chain 8. So you can see a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and number 8. Now super simple from here, we're going to start in the second loop from the hook and make just a single crochet stitch, just like that. So that's 1. Coming into the next stitch or loop, we've got the second single crochet stitch. The third loop will be the third, and the fourth loop will be the 4th single crochet stitch, just like that. So we've got 4 single crochet stitches down the length of the chain. We've still got a couple more loops to go, but that's okay, because what we'll do at this point is we're going to chain 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Actually we'll chain 5. There we go, chain 5. Now from here, you'll just make again 4 single crochet stitches down the length of the chain. Remember, you start in the second loop from the hook as well. So here's the fourth, and then we'll just make a regular slip stitch back in this same loop. So make that a slip stitch right there, and just chain 5 again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, repeating the same thing, which is 4 single crochet stitches down the chain loops that you just chained. So there we go, that's number 3, and here's number 4. Make a slip stitch inside that same space with all the other ones. So we did 1, 2, and now 3, and now from here we will have 3 single crochet stitches to go. So we're just continuing down the length of the chain. So here's 1 single crochet stitch, here's the second single crochet stitch, and finally the third, just like that. We've got our little moose antlers, and then we're just going to pull the yarn through, leave ourselves a good maybe 10 centimeters worth. We don't need too much. And there we go, there are our antlers. Now make sure you make 2 in total, and now we're ready for sewing. So here you can see we have the hat right here, and this antler, this is the right side, this is the incorrect side, is going to go at the top here, just on the side. So it needs to be, you don't need to know exactly where it goes, just so long as it's on the side of the hat, and then this part is sewn, only this part. So we'll leave the antler portion free, if that makes sense, just to fall over the top like that. So that's what we're doing. We've got our sewing needle over here, and we're just going to again come into one of these stitch spaces on the side from that portion. Actually, before we do that, I might go back in the same spot and just work 1 stitch space higher. So I'm going to speed up the video a little bit just so you can see what I'm doing. So as you can see there, I kind of just sewed within the 4 little spaces up here, 1, 2, 3, and 4. And now I'm going to go inside the back, and then I'll just weave in this yarn tail in a couple of these stitch spaces at the back, just to secure it in place, because again, I'm not able to tie it together. It would look kind of silly if I had a knot on the inside of the hat. So I'm just going to weave it through the hat and then cut. And I'll do exactly the same for the other yarn tail over here. I'm just going to weave it through there and then through the back as well. And there we go. So we've just sewn on the moose ears. I probably could have brought them a little bit more towards the center there, but this is okay. So there we go. That's the entire hat there. I've sewn on both antlers on the sides. And now all I need to do is add the nose, and then we are finished with our Tony chopper. So in order to make the nose, all you need is just a little bit of your brown colored yarn. So maybe just cut about 15 to 20 centimeters worth right there. You can even use a tapestry needle, no need for a sewing needle, although if you prefer your sewing needle, no problem at all. So all we're going to do is just weave a little bit of yarn through the center here to make the nose. So I have 1 come right here, leave a bit of a yarn tail there, just come across maybe 1 stitch space. That should be enough, and we'll just do that a few times. So there's 1, at least that makes it center anyway, and here's number 2. So there we go, there's the nose right there, and then we'll just tie this together in a double knot. So you can see the first one not too tight, but the second knot, we definitely make this a lot tighter. And then we cut the yarn, and using our tapestry needle, we can either push this knot inside that stitch space, or if you're having trouble there, come through a different stitch and kind of pull it in just like that. And there we go. So there is our Tony chopper, all nice and finished with his hat, and we are looking great. There we go. So that's Tony Chopper, guys. If you saw this video and would like to subscribe, please do. We have lots of characters coming, so be sure to check out those tutorials and make them for yourselves. Tag me at Instagram or TikTok or on YouTube if you have made them. Thanks for coming to our channel, and we'll see you in the next one. Thank you so much. Bye.